All right, let's talk about a skill that really separates the pros from the rookies in test automation. Mastering API authentication with OAuth 2.0. If you're tired of your tests randomly failing and you're not sure why, well, this one is definitely for you. So let me ask you a question and be honest. Are you still digging through browser dev tools, grabbing a bearer token, and just pasting it into your test script? Hey, no judgment, we've all been there, but we really need to talk because that one little habit is basically a ticking time bomb for your test suite. You see, the problem with that manual copy-paste is that it makes your tests incredibly brittle. Tokens are designed to expire, so the second that token dies, and believe me, it will, your entire test run just grinds to a halt. It's not just a waste of time, it's also a fake security check. You're not actually testing the authentication process, you're just, checking if a key someone handed you still works. To really get what OAuth 2.0 is all about, forget the tech for a second and just think about a hotel key card. You'd never give a valet your house key, right? Of course not. You give them a special key that only starts the car and maybe opens the driver's side door. That's OAuth 2.0 in a nutshell. It's all about giving limited, temporary access. So yeah, the official definition is an open standard for access delegation. But let's stick with our hotel. The hotel's front desk? That's the authorization server. It checks your ID, confirms you're supposed to be there, and then it gives another app, let's say a food delivery service, permission to drop off food at your room, all without ever seeing your personal credit card or ID. And that plastic key card the front desk gives you, well, that's your access token. It's a short-lived credential that grants very specific access. And here's the most important part. Just like that key card stops working the minute you check out, this token is designed to expire. Now, this is where it gets really smart. That hotel keycard only opens your room. It won't get you into the gym or the pool, and it sure as heck won't open the manager's office. In the OAuth world, that's what we call scopes. They are these fine-grained permissions that define exactly what an app is allowed to do, like read your profile but not delete your account. It's all about minimum necessary access. Okay, so let's tie these concepts together really quickly. OAuth 2.0 is the whole system. The access token is your temporary hotel key. Grant flows are just the different ways you can ask for a key, like showing your ID versus using a mobile check-in. But pay close attention to this one, the refresh token. Think of this like your confirmed reservation number. When your temporary keycard expires, you don't have to go through the whole check-in process again. You just show your reservation and they give you a new key. In automation, this is a total game changer.
So, how do we finally escape that copy-paste nightmare? Simple. We automate the entire token flow from start to finish. This is the professional way, and trust me, it follows a super simple, repeatable 4-step process that's going to make your tests rock solid.
This whole process is called the request chaining pattern. Sounds fancy, but it's not. Step 1, we figure out what the API needs. Step 2, we make a request to actually get the token. Step 3, we check that we got a valid token and we pull it out of the response. And finally, step 4, we use that fresh token to make our real API call. That's it. Simple, right? Let's zoom in on step 2, the token request. We're sending a post request to a special token endpoint. And in the body, we provide our credentials. You can think of the client ID as your app's public username and the client secret as its password. This is literally our test script proving its identity to the server, just like you showing your driver's license at the front desk. Okay, the server sent a response back. What do? First things first, we check for a 200 OK status. If we don't get that, something's wrong and we need to fail fast. But if we do, then comes the magic. We reach into that JSON response, grab the value for access token, and we save it to a variable. No more human intervention, the test is doing all the work for us. Now this is the brittle way, the way we used to do things. Everyone tries this first. You grab a token, you hardcode it right into the authorization header. And hey, it works. For a little while. The second that token expires, this test is dead. And this is the robust way. See the difference? Instead of that static, pasted-in value, we are injecting the variable we just saved in the previous step. Now, every single time this test suite runs, it automatically gets a brand new valid token. Your test isn't just working, it's resilient, it's repeatable, and it's actually testing the real authentication flow. Okay, getting the token automatically is a massive win. You're already ahead of the pack. But here's an insider tip that really separates the good testers from the great ones. This is something that probably 90% of people miss when they're first starting out. So the rookie mistake is to test that first token generation and then just move on. But what happens an hour later when it expires? The pro move is to test the entire token lifecycle. You need a test that explicitly proves your application can use a refresh token to get a new access token without a hitch. This isn't just about making tests less flaky, it's about verifying a core part of the user experience and security posture.
All right, I know we covered a lot of ground, so let's boil it down. If you only remember 3 things from all this, make it these 3. If you can master these, I guarantee you are way ahead of the game.
First, always automate token generation. Make a promise to yourself to never hard code a token again. Second, validate the entire lifecycle. Don't just get a token, prove you can refresh it. That's the key to truly resilient tests. And third, test your scopes. Prove that a token with read-only permission can't actually write or delete data. This is where you go from testing authentication to testing authorization. I want to leave you with this one thought. When you master the token lifecycle, you're doing more than just making your tests better. You're elevating your role from someone who just checks features to someone who actively hunts for and prevents real-world security vulnerabilities. That's a huge deal. And that brings us to a final, pretty interesting question. You now know how to test that authentication works the way it's supposed to. But what about the next level? How do you start thinking like an attacker and design tests to find where it's broken? Well, that's a topic for next time.